Hello and welcome to this week's coffee vlog. It's Friday the 10th of August and we're heading home at 5:30 from work. So this week it's been, I don't know, it's been a bit tiring, to be honest. I'm not actually, I don't know, it's just seemed to have had a lot on, although I don't feel like I've achieved a lot, but just seems to have drained me somewhat this week. It has. It's just felt like it's always been a challenge every single day of the week. But here we are at the end. We're at Friday, the weekend. So what happened last week? Well, last Friday, after the vlog, I made it to Words with Witty. That was pretty good, actually. Had quite a good time there. Did some bits and pieces on Steam It and things through Friday night, holding out until, of course, we had the Playhouse. So I managed to stay awake for once to join in the Playhouse, to do some of the vocals for some of the acts for that, which went pretty well. But you could tell I was tired because the last reading, the last show, my part was well through what was being read anyway. I'd carefully sort of sat and I watched everyone reading their lines and looked where my lines were going to be, and I was all ready for it. Then my line came and I sat through speaking my part and I was away doing it, and then I started thinking, hang on, someone else is saying my lines as well as me. Why the devil's that? So I'm just completely befuddled by it all. Then I realised what happened. It got tap to talk on. So when you actually want to speak on the show, so there's no background noise when people aren't talking to do the parts or whatever else. So when you're actually wanting to say something, you have to press a button down on the keyboard that you select, and that lets you be heard. And it got that late at night. I was so tired. I'd totally forgotten I was supposed to do that. So I was just sat talking to myself, basically, reading the part out to myself. Just completely had forgotten to press the tap to talk bit. By which point there was no point, because it was already well through the bit. Obviously they have backup, so in the event someone does miss the part, if they drop the connection and drop out or whatever else, or in my case fall asleep, then there's someone always on reserve to fill in and do the voice bit for them. So that happened, so I missed out on that, doing that bit, but it was still a good laugh. So I did that. Saturday, slept in a reasonable amount, and then during the day Saturday didn't do a great deal. Wasn't exactly feeling super great, to be honest, on the Saturday. I think again I was just a bit sort of so we chilled out and did quite a lot of gaming with the boys. Actually did some three-way multiplayer gaming with the boys, so that was alright. That was quite good. Chilled out and had a bit of a laugh and relaxed. Did I do a post on Saturday? Honestly, I can't even remember if I did or not do a post, which is pretty abysmal. But then again, that's just how it's been at the moment. I'm just like, certainly I haven't done a lot of posts on Steam. I was going to do one midweek and I've not had a chance, which we'll get on to really in a bit, because we're stopping shortly and I lose my train of thought, so I'll get on to that after the stop to get rid of the parcels. But yeah, it's been like I say, just like a funny old week. So Sunday, what did we do Sunday? I think it was half decent weather, so we did get out in the garden and did some bits. Didn't really go anywhere exciting though, so I didn't have a lot for Sublime Sunday, so I had to make it up. I did a quick trip to the supermarket, and literally it was when the supermarket was closing. I was like, oh, what? I had like 15 minutes to trolley dash around the supermarket, which is like super ridiculous, but they are. Right, well, she'll do Mr. Nice's words of wisdom, and then I'll get rid of my parcels and we'll carry on all the way home then. So Mr. Nice says things to talk about on your vlog. Richard watched Vanilla Sky and the Borrowers. Can't think if I've watched Vanilla Sky. I probably have, but I can't remember. Stan and Ollie starring Steve Coogan as Stan Laurel and John C. Reilly as Do You Like Laurel Hardy, as my grandma and I do, and I remember the Hanna-Barbera cartoon on Channel 4 as well. Yeah, Laurel Hardy was good, and I think I do remember the cartoon, funnily enough, as well, yeah. The death of Barry Elliott, who was one of the Chuckle Brothers, to me, to you. Yeah, it's funny that actually, because he died last weekend, and we had on the telly on the Sunday, well I didn't, Mrs. and eldest had on, a TV clip show, one of these funny clip things, but that had the Chuckle Brothers on then, and it was a bit kind of bizarre that they were watching that and then found out that he died on Sunday, so. Also, Richard Nelson has been to the National Coal Mining Museum on Monday afternoon. Oh, that'd be an interesting Richard. Also, he sang Running Bear by Johnny Preston at the Feathers pub on Tuesday evening. Oh, very good, Richard. Also, he's been to La Luna with my mum on Wednesday evening. Oh, eating out again, Richard, I don't know. Also, he's going to Lightcliff Tea Rooms, but it's been changed to this coming Sunday as his mum is going to Christchurch in Dorset with his dad the week after. Oh dear. Also, he was Shaggy Rogers as 4 horses were on their own close to his house at 9:15 AM on Thursday morning. Very interesting, Richard. Horses free roaming. That's all that about. Right, I'm off to get rid of my parcels and then I will be back. See you in a minute. Okay, back again, and we're in a big queue. Yes, I managed to turn up when everyone turned up for fuel, and now we'll be waiting forever and a day to get out, because these lot that go up have both lanes of traffic to escape, and they're going to have a job doing it. So, where's he off to? He's going to go down instead. Good, well, we shall go down. I know we won't, because everyone else is going somewhere. Right. Oh well, we'll just wait forever and a day, shall we? So yeah, busy week. So not done much Steemit posting, unfortunately, because I was busy with a witness server, actually. One of them things, isn't it? So yeah, there was an update that fixed a load of bugs introduced at the start of July when they had the, oh my god, everyone's fucking coming. Be here all day. I'll turn the engine off again. So yes, there was an update for the software that the witnesses run on their servers, released on Monday, I think it was. So all witnesses encouraged to update to it because it fixed a few bugs and problems that there could be. So I was kind of keen to get on with it, but I was too busy Monday, I think. So Tuesday I started to get into doing it. Go on, he's going, but the little one's gone zoom in and he's going there, and oh god, he's going up as well. This is complete baloney. See what I'm going to do. I'm gonna, oh. No, I was going to say I was going to go. Oh, look at that. He was lucky. Right, we might actually get a shot at this now. Hi ho, and away. Yes, we're off. So yeah, so there's new software out, and of course I'm running the experimental version that unlocks a whole host of new features, but only if enough witnesses support it, and not many have, because it's a little bit temperamental is the word I'd use. Oh, you see, he came down here and then he's trying to come out of that bit, but I don't think he's going to get any further. And the thing is, everyone got out while he was refusing to wait, so that's a bit of a downside for him. Anyway, so this new version of software, and in fact even now today there is still a big proportion of witnesses still not updated to the newer versions, because of course they don't have to, because the old version is still producing blocks fine. If they weren't getting the blocks, of course, they'd be very quick to update the servers, but it's a kind of, oh well, it's still working, so I'll leave it when I can be bothered, like, sort of thing. But obviously I was keen to get mine updated, because it obviously shows you're interested and on the ball as a witness, and also because having teamed up with Deranged Visions as a joint witness, I've got to sort of fulfill what he's offering to all his voters that are now moving across and bringing me very high up the table, which is great. We're actually flying up the witness list now up to this afternoon, up to rank 95. So active witness 95, so that's quite impressive really. We're really high up now. But yeah, so I wanted to be all sort of eager and getting on with it, and there was a release for the 19.5 to 19.6, so that's the stable current build, but the 19.10, there didn't seem to be any update for Docker that I could find. We were supposed to do a git pull of it, but that just kept giving me an error. So I was kind of waiting and waiting and wanting to get it updated because I want it to be current, and the bit for it wasn't appearing, which was frustrating me somewhat. I wanted to be getting on with it. So in the end, yesterday morning, I got bored of waiting basically, and I decided I was going to figure out some way of getting mine updated because it wasn't doing it. And I hunted about enough through GitHub and all the files there, and through the files on my server, and I managed to find what I needed to alter to get it to build the newer version. So I did that, set my witness off, left in the Steam witness chat
warning, K-band radar check
the details of what I'd done in case anyone else wanted to try that rather than sit around and wait. And I'd also left a little image of my replay starting up. Now there was an error at the start of it, but I completely ignored it because the last time I paid attention to an error, it caused me to miss my first block. So I was like, stuff it, if there's an error comes up now, I don't care. If it finishes replay and it does transactions, it's working, that's fine, not to do with that. So there was an error, but fortunately I'd left that in the witness chat, and one of the other witnesses who was also running the version I was on, the 11.10, he'd already done the update that I was trying to do. Because the problem I had is, because I went onto the Docker system, which is like a pre-built enclosure for the Steam software, I'm going to wait for that to be updated by the person who builds those. Whereas a lot of others, if they just built it manually like I did at the start, just do a manual build, then they can just pull down the new software directly without waiting for anyone else to fiddle about. So he'd already done that, but he pointed out the error was because there was some new information to put in the config.ini that I hadn't done, but he did provide it, which was very good of him. So I had to stop. I was halfway through the replay annoyingly, having set it off, so I had to stop again, having stopped it already to build everything, add that code into the config.ini, set it off again, which it was happy then, it didn't come up with that error, so that was a bonus. I don't actually know if that error would have caused it not to process transactions or not, but I wasn't going to risk it, to be honest, because I had enough time for it to replay and then get me the next block still, so it was worth doing. But the replay I'm sure the last time I set it off, it only took 3 hours to do the replay. But this time, 6 hours of a job. In fact, well, it wasn't cutting it fine, but I mean, there was only hours until the next block, which I thought that's a bit close for liking. Although, to be fair, now, thanks to my increased position, there's now only 10 hours going to be between blocks for me, so that's starting to push it a bit for me to get any maintenance done, and if it needs a replay anyway, and get it all up and running again, ready for the next one, which will be the point that I'm going to have to start using maintenance mode a lot more to put it out of the loop, just so I don't miss blocks. I just get passed over for them instead. But we'll see how we get on. So it's all running finally anyway. I got it all running, and then, would you believe, probably, well, to be fair, no, I could have waited. Last night the actual update was released for the Docker version, so I could have waited a bit longer and not faffed about for ages trying to force it, but you know, I got it done beforehand, so I was happy, and I was showing current, because the thing is, in the witness list in the witness list, once there's the new version out, it's showing, if you're on the old version, your number's all grey and looks a bit miserable and sad. So I want it to be the bright green new version one again and current. So but I did it, I got it all up and running, so that's great. And yeah, I did the block last night, did one this morning, literally about an hour ago took one, and like I say, I think it's going to be about every 10 hours or so, so it's really picking up now, to be honest. It's fantastic. So see how we get on, really progress, because next up, I know there's quite a few more that the Range Visions has got in his of motors to move over to me. We could get even higher. So I mean, the combining has worked out well, because, you know, we're higher than I would have ever have got on my own, because I don't really chat with loads of people. And obviously we're higher than he did on his own, but at the same point, you know, he's brought a lot of people because he worked hard for it. So it's fair enough we combined, and obviously we're sharing whatever we get out of it as the combined witness, which we can then use for doing good things on Steemit. So lo and behold, it's all going quite well as that goes. But because of all that messing about with the server, no posts. He's not done any posts again, so which is kind of poor. But I'm going to try and do another. See, I did a witness. Oh, that's what I did Saturday. Witness update last Saturday, and Sublime Sunday on Sunday. But I've done no posts since. I was going to do one middle of the week, but never got a chance. So I might do a witness update tonight, just about all that malarkey we've been doing. I need to do some other posts as well, to be honest, but it's just finding the time. Right, I'm off, because it's going to be Words with Witty in an hour. That'll be good. Okay, so have a good week next week. I'll catch you in next week's coffee vlog. See ya.